Now, just on the media bias, the BBC has been found to have institutional bias when it comes to this issue. What's your verdict on our public broadcaster, the ABC, and also SBS, which is also taxpayer funded?
Look, I'm not going to judge any one media outlet. What I know of the ABC is certainly that it is not been reporting what I would call correctly or accurately about Israel. And my assumption is that very similar to the BBC, there's some inherent bias that is going on there, perhaps influenced by other issues in your own country, the number of Muslim citizens, the take of the government, and the weak stance that it's had in support of Israel, its recognition of a Palestinian state when there is a terror entity on Israel's border, extremism. None of the criteria have been met. And yet, a country comes out in favor of having this terror state on a border of what has historically been one of your closest allies. So, I will share with you that I did go into the Kerem Shalom crossing on the Gaza side of the border with an ABC reporter not too long ago. We went to go see the vast amount, the tons of aid that was being brought into Gaza and not being able to be distributed because of issues with the United Nations distribution. This was in the time when there was such a lot of looting by Hamas. My report and his report were very, very different. And when I stood there on the Gaza side and heard the report, I was honestly quite surprised. Maybe I shouldn't say surprised because I expected as such. But, the twisting and turning of the narrative to assume that with all this aid being let in to get to the people of Gaza by Israel through the crossing, and yet somehow it was Israel's fault that the aid was not arriving to the people.
Well, Maayan, I think that's a very diplomatic way of answering Rita's question, but you answered it absolutely spot on. I don't think any of us would have been surprised that the ABC's reporting was very different to yours or indeed reality. Maayan Hoffman, thanks so much for coming on Outsiders. Great to chat to you.